Hey, it is Susie Simonson, and we are here with our Level Up OP February journal. Super excited to have Miss Amy Mead on the line this morning, or on the Zoom this morning. And this month is all about inspire. And so we're going to go into behind the design and what inspired this design this month. So if you don't know, now you know that that each month is filled with a theme. And so what we do is we have a theme for the month where we highlight one of our leaders in their genius. And so we invite them to be as involved as they'd like throughout the month with the theme. And so that is inspire, and Amy has got inspire action hours, so just would encourage you to go to those. So here we are about the journal. Level up journal. So if you've noticed, the cover has changed. So it's all about leveling up. It's about leveling up your life, your business, yourself, being able to look into who you are and what you're doing and to make this your own. So that is a huge thing about this journal, is that it is intended, it is designed, it is thought of for you to make it your own. And so in that, we have guided prompts, and we have a bullet journal style, and we have some sections that are like a planner, some sections that are more bullet journal, and some sections that are more like business oriented, home oriented, goal oriented, to get you to the place that you need monthly. I mean, that really is the thing, is that how we grow in a year is what we do with the month. And what we do in the month, we've got to make sure that we're doing weekly. And weekly, we've got to make sure that we're doing daily. So it's forming these habits, and it's making it your own in this journal. So here we go, diving into February. I do need to note, so everyone who is watching this on the replay and who has had this journal before, the binding is smaller. That was far from intentional. So it's something that our printing company, that they got the wrong binding on it. Next month, it will be like we've communicated. It's been an amazing, so here's something too, it's been an amazing chance for growth to be able to talk about the improvements that need to be made. So when something isn't quite right, you can do what you need to do to fix it. So we want to acknowledge that the binding is a little bit tougher to turn the pages. I just realized that as I was turning the page. So wanted to point that out. So our welcome letter, super excited because this is the first one ever. So Miss Amy Mead, you are the first ever to have your picture in the welcome letter, and to have the welcome letter from our leader that the journal is inspired by. Inspired. And one thing that I love, so I'm not going to read the letter because you've got the journal, or you're thinking about getting the journal. And so you can read it yourself or inquire about it if you're thinking about getting the journal. One thing that inspired me, though, is seeing that you signed it peace and love. So I made your own peace and love. So it's a peace sign and a heart made of succulents. So Amy, that is specifically for you. And it's fun to be able, from a design standpoint, to take your words and to take our future leaders' words and be able to design from that. So just want to point that out. And I'll say the definition of inspire is to fill someone with the urge or ability to do or feel something, especially to do something creative. So that's inspire. That's what this month is about. And go get it. Dive in. We have our first every single month. So this is the same every month. We have our last month's reflections. This is really important to be able to say, where was I present? Wins I will celebrate. Best connections made. Grateful for. Favorite moments made. Vision I will build, and where was I stronger together? So in these things, this is intentionally left for you to start with this, to think about the month before. So they go together. So you can see where your life is going. You can see your purpose. You can know your purpose, and you can see what are the things that are the same, right? What are the things that repeat? What are the things that are recycled? Where are the areas that you need to be more present? Like if you can't think of any wins, why not? Right? Best connections made. If there aren't connections that were made, so this can show to go forward with making connections. So this is to be intentional about, so it's being intentional about our current month from seeing where we've been. Because if we don't recognize, if we stay away from recognizing where we've been, how do we know where we're going? Right? If we stay away from recognizing where we've been, how do we know where we're going? And so this page is crazy important to be able to see where you've been so that you know where you want to go this month. So the next page, it's 3 months at a glance. So I just sounded Canadian. 3 months at a glance, or maybe European. I don't know. I'm from Minnesota. So February, March, and April. What do you have going on in the 3 months? What would you like to happen in 3 months? What are goals that you have? What are family things, personal things that you have going on? What appointments do you need to make to get onto the calendar in these next 3 months? What are the things that you need to do that maybe you've been putting off? Like on purpose, with purpose, is really about living our lives fully with the intentional purpose, like knowing our purpose, being captivated by our purpose. And each person's purpose is different. And so sometimes we know that we know that we know. It's the times where your heart just is pulled, is tugged, that okay, this is what I'm meant to do. And then there are other times where we may think too hard. There's other times where we may not think enough. Like there's different ways to get to our purpose, but let's be curious about ourselves. Seriously, be curious about ourselves. Why do we do the things that we do? I am quirky and I say things like just off the cuff, and Beck and I just had a conversation about it. Like sometimes it is awkward. And here's the thing, being curious about myself of if and when I say something that is awkward enough to offend, I get to figure it out. I get to figure out fixing it, and being curious about myself and curious about the other person to be able to say, this is my heart in this is my purpose in this. And just to know. So this is really hitting me hard as I say this, is how curious are we about ourselves? So what are the 3 things, like what do you want the next 3 months to hold? This is about your wants. This is about your desires. This is about you. So fill this page with whatever you need. Fill this page with whatever you want, to be able to say, okay, I know that I want this and I will move forward with it. So taking the chance, making the changes that you need to, and fill this page with whatever you would like. So 3 months at a glance. Then our next page is, it's the important dates for February. What do you have going on in February that you need to keep track of, right? Is it work on yourself? Is it work with your family? Is it work with your friends? Is it work on your business? What are the important dates? Is it appointments that you want to keep? Is it those random connections that you want to make that aren't so random, but you plan for them, right? Is it the things that you've been craving that you haven't given yourself the time to do? Is it putting on here things that you're going to say no to and feel good about? I mean, that could be something too. So the next page is February intentions. So physical health, quality relationships, professional goals, money mindset, and I will pursue inspiration in. Where will you be inspired? Decide this. Intentions are something that is decided, that you say, I'm going to go for this. I'm going to pursue this. So I will pursue inspiration in. How will you pursue that? How will you go after being inspired? And then your physical health. What will you do for your physical health? I have to share, I've been having weird stuff in my body for a really long time. I mean, almost always, like since I was a kid, stuff in my body wasn't right. And I'm one, like food that I eat, lack of water that I put in my body, there's the things that are natural, to pay attention, but there's this thing called vessel that I think that I'm going to invest in. So I haven't done it. I'm researching it right now, but like you pee on this stick and it tells you, and there's a QR code, and you take a picture of the QR code and it sends it to the place and it tells you what you're deficient in. So like the vitamins you're deficient in and all of that. And then you can change what you eat. Like you can change, so it suggests what you need, and then you change that and then you see a difference, right? So you can either choose to do it like once a week or twice a week or that. So I think that I'm going to do that because it makes sense to me. So just putting that out there, like that's something that intention for my physical health. I need to know what's going on in my body so that I can pursue my intentions fully, so that I am able to step out in what I'm meant to do instead of being held back by my body. So something that's out there just came to mind. Okay, this is inspired by Amy Mead. It is a dream catcher. And this is also inspired by my bonus sister. So my bonus sister, the night before I created this, my bonus sister said that she had the most beautiful dream of her and my brother together and waking up and having coffee and having the best morning together. And she said, I mean, she didn't want to fully wake up because then it's real life and he's not there. But she said that it was so cool that their souls got to hang out. And so I thought of this, like our dreams are the most tangible connection to our soul. Continue to pursue their beauty and their guidance. So when we are physically dreaming, when we are asleep, when our mind doesn't have the chance to mess up our soul, right? What do our dreams mean? Like whether they're, I love dreams. And so like, if you're unable to remember your dreams, maybe focus on meditation before you go to sleep and just clearing your mind so that your soul can play. But our dreams are the most tangible connection to our soul. And just know that like our soul is always trying to tell us, is always working to tell us what we need. And our soul is connected on a different level than our body understands. It's how our gut knows before our mind understands what we're meant to do. Right? So this, I was inspired by the dream catcher and inspired by my bonus sister. The morning that she got, that her soul got to hang out with my brother's soul. So our dreams are the most tangible connection to our soul. Continue to pursue their beauty and guidance. So we always have a coloring page and an inspirational page before setting your goals. I love goals. I love color coding goals. I love, taking them off that they're made and all of that. Like, it's been an obsession anytime that I've been in a position of sales, that like I am inspired by goals. And so that's why this goal sheet, I know that that's not the case for everyone. And so why not be connected to our soul so that our goals flow easier, so that we know what our goals are. When they're aligned with our soul, then we can know that they're going to flow easier, right? When they're inspired by our soul, instead of being in our mind to come up with our goals, why not be in our soul? Why not go to that place to say, okay, I'm captivated by my purpose, and these are the things that need to happen. And then good, better, best. Good is what ultimately needs to happen, is the good. Like, what are the non-negotiables? What is the mortgage payment that you need to make? What is the food that you need in your belly? How much do those things cost, so that okay, this is what needs to be welcomed in, right? The better is, what do you dream about? What are the things that you want to do, that knowing when the good is met, focusing on the better, right? And then the best is like living your crazy fulfilled life, where you can also give back, where you can be at the place where you do things for free. You can decide. So this is more as an entrepreneur, you can decide what you want to do because your needs are already met. So in the goals, and also with that, maybe that's too, like, in saying yes or no to something, maybe it's so far from money, but it's saying, a goal is that I say yes to myself first. So maybe a good goal is you say yes to yourself 5 times, which every time we say yes to something, we are like innately saying no to something else, right? So say yes to yourself 5 times, and then better would be saying yes to yourself 10 times, and best could be saying yes to yourself 15 times. I mean, whatever that looks like. And then once you've said yes to yourself 15 times, then you can say yes to other things, right? Like, what if that could actually be a structure where you can say, how do I start saying yes to myself and no to other things more? The structure is right there. Like, these goals can be used for anything. I think of them in money because that's naturally how I think, is what are the money goals? What financial freedom can I have that will bring freedom in other areas of my life? Like, I'm just wired that way, you know but I have been a yes girl. So what about being a no woman, right? So using this space to be able to put personal goals also. And then at the bottom, you've got boxes that say celebrate, improve, and plan. And what this is, celebrate your goals. Celebrate your goals. Celebrate how you show up for yourself. Celebrate how you're working for yourself, how you're being captivated by yourself, how you're inspiring yourself to be more and to do more and to just be. Even in saying, like, be more and do more, when we align with who we are, when we allow ourselves to go there, then we just are. Right? So whether that's more or less or exactly where you need to be, you are exactly who your world needs. So know that, stake that in the ground. Anytime that you doubt it, call me, text me, message me. I may not get back to you right away because it's not my best thing. So call back, text back, message back, or each other. Be able to have your people. But I promise you, I will get back to you at some point. Okay, side note. Here we go. So now talking about money. It is something that we all need. unless you're completely off the grid, and then you wouldn't be watching this. So money, we all need it. When you think of money, what do you think of? Beck and I were talking about this because budgeting isn't really, I mean, it's not fun for everybody. You know, budgeting is not like necessarily the thing that everybody runs to and they're like, yes, let me budget for the month. There are some people, and I respect those people. That's awesome. I am far from being one of those. I love to see color. And so we created this page to be able to show how colorful your life is. So in thinking about this, so this is where the freedom to design, the freedom to be you, like this is where our journal calls out to who you are, okay? Because you get to choose how much each petal is, right? For some people, each petal may be $100. Amazing, good on ya, like that's amazing. Some people it may be a penny. Amazing, good on ya, that's amazing, right? $1, $5, $20, $50, $100, $1,000, doesn't matter what it is, you get to decide it. So how colorful do you want your life to be and this page to be? And this is a way to show gratitude for every single penny that comes in, every single amount of energy. Here's the cool thing about money. We give it the energy. I'm getting goosebumps everywhere. We give it the energy that it takes up in our life. We give it the energy that it gives back to us, right? Like when I'm walking around, oh my word, there was one day where we were on a road trip, and it was right after Beck and I had the talk. So Beck and I talk a lot. We had the talk about pennies, and literally on the floor, there were 9 pennies. And I was like, what? That would be like a whole succulent, you know, if we're talking penny, like those pennies brought me so much joy because I gave them energy. It was the energy that I chose in my life to give to them, right? It was the value that I gave to them. If those were $100 bills, like, yeah, it could do more with my life, but would I have as much energy? Like even thinking about $100 bills on the ground, I feel more excitement about the pennies than I do the $100 bills. But that's, I mean, we get to decide value that brings. So how colorful do you want your life to be? And if your goals are money related, then you get to correlate that to be able to say, okay, a good goal, my money page, my money succulents would be this, you know, like a third filled. Better goal, it'll be 2/3 filled. Best goal, it'll be fully filled. Right? So if you want to do the math about it, do it. Or if you want to go with your gut and just decide on a number so that you can color, do that. Like this is meant for you. So the feedback that I got from the budgeting pages or the budgeting page is that, I'm going to be honest, your feedback is a gift. I don't know one person that used it, at least the feedback that I got. So I've replaced it with affirmations. So to connect to the money that you need, if you would like the budgeting page back, let me know. But the feedback that I got, which your feedback is a gift, is that it went unused. And so this journal is intended for you to use and for you to grow with and for you to give feedback on what you need. Because the fun thing is I take that feedback and it shows up in the journal. So I believe in my skill and ability. I attract everything I desire times 10. I attract everything I desire times 10. Money has a positive impact on my life. My actions create consistent prosperity. Abundance is my friend. I'm always learning. So what the intention is for this is there's coloring. So these are actually separated succulent petals. So, but I love the design of putting them behind it. So color, as you're going through these affirmations, let that flow. Let your soul play with your mind and dance in it. Like have a party with these. Let them sink into who you are. And as you do that, color them in or outline them or write them on another page or, fill in the blank, make it your own. Whatever idea you have, however you think of using this, use it because it's yours. Like that's it. This is yours. Once it arrives at your door, go for it. Do it. The next page is our emotion tracker. I used to have mood tracker in here, and I really felt in my gut that it needed to be an emotion tracker. And I was researching, and I read from BJ Fogg. So if you want to look him up, I look up for the journal and I find what sits well with me. So I can't like say that all of his stuff is, this sat well with me. So emotions create habits. And there was a whole article that I read on it. So I decided to give this a go. And then other feedback is to have more crystals. So here you go. Here are more crystals. They're not a certain number. So it's not like your actually, it is a certain number. I think it is 28. Does somebody want to count them and see if it's 28? I think that did line up with that. So what you want to do is I give an example of the emotion, like when you feel inspired, color that in. So there's the cuts in the gems or the crystals. And so color that in. This is meant to be colorful also, or design, like if you wanted to do little hearts, if you wanted to do lines, whatever you want to do. Beck, I got your nod, so it's 28. Awesome, thank you. What is meant to do here is the emotions that you feel regularly, so that you can see, are you in a more negative space? Are you in a more neutral space? Are you in a more positive space? And guess what? You get to say what that is. You get to say what your emotions are. And this is meant to go with your habits. This is meant to go with, to be able to see your life, and to see what combines to get you to where you need to be. Because our emotions affect that, our habits affect that. What we do daily affects where we're going to get to. It affects our purpose. It affects being captivated with our purpose. So write down the different emotions that you feel and give them a color code or give them a code, and then put those into the crystals. Okay, so for the days, and honestly, like I'm stepping into providing structure and letting the rhyme and reason come from you, right? So there is a structure, and I want to encourage, that's how Amy says it, and since it's Inspire Month, encourage you to make it your own. So that I'm really, really excited for that page. And in January, we changed the habit tracker because, again, I'm wanting you, my intention, my behind the design is that sometimes we can get so, we can have so many patterns that like sometimes we don't get to the creative part of us, right? We don't get to the place where like we're going beyond the habit. We're going beyond tracking it and being meticulous about it, or making sure that we have that. So this is a 3-month tester. This puzzle is a 3-month tester. So in March, we're going to get feedback on if it needs to be in April, because we used to have a daily tracker, but sometimes that's just boring to me. So wanting to spice it up. So let's embrace what it takes to create a habit. List the habits you're committed to creating below and fill your puzzle freely. So if that means that it's color coded, and again, like this one, I know isn't numbered to the days of the month. Ooh, yay. So this one is not numbered. to the days of the month. This one is just, it's a puzzle. And so you can color in as many pieces as you want. You can make this your own. So I love to color code things and coat them, but color code things so you can make this what you want again. So fueling my body, this was taken away and brought back by request, that to keep track of how you are fueling your body, to keep track of how you are taking care of yourself. I didn't use this page before because honestly, I was running from what I was putting in my body and how I was feeling. And so I'm like, well, I always feel like shit, so why not keep it up? You know, like that's where I was, is that no matter what I put in my body, I feel that way. And so why not care? Right? And so I will be using these pages this month. So use this for what you put into your body, use this for what you put into your brain, like keep track of podcasts, keep track of whatever you do to fuel yourself to keep you going. So this is inspired by Miss Amy Mead, the next pages, and this is to keep track of one-liners. So being able to say, so in this, always remember that you are inspiring someone. So even when you may not think you are, or where you haven't seen it yet, always remember you are inspiring someone. So who or what inspired me today? So being able to say, this person inspired me today, or this happened and that inspired me today, right? So getting that inspiration so that you can look back at this. And this is really a time capsule part, so that you can look back and you can say, ooh, remember when that happened? Like having a conversation with yourself, like this happened, I was inspired by. And then we've got the planner section of the journal. And so we
Can I
are
share one thing?
Yes.
I just want, I love this because when we talked about doing an Inspire Hour, I started to notice the things that inspired me. And then I started to ask myself the question, okay, inspired to do what? So what I noticed is that what I'm inspired most by are when people are real and raw and in the shit. But I never want to show up that way. So it was really eye-opening to me to see that hey, I get the most out of that. So chances are other people get the most out of what I have to say when I'm being real and raw and just stuck in it.
1,000%. 1,000%. Thank you for that, because it's true. When we show up as who we are, without doubt, being so captivated with who we are, being in awe of ourselves. Like Coach K spoke about that at our first virtual summit. I am in awe of myself. Like, what if we worked to live in that place more? Right? What if we inspired ourselves? What if that was something? What if a person that needs to be inspired by themselves, what if they use that one-liner as, I inspired myself today? Right? So thank you for that. I love it. And so this is the planner part. So the next pages are the planner that we've got you. The 4 boxes on each day are your must-dos or your get-tos, like turning the must-dos into get-tos. That has been inspiring me last month, is that yes, these are my 3 must-dos. And where that came from is we get overwhelmed by the huge list, right? And when you think of the 3 must-dos that need to get done that day, then you can say, okay, awesome, the 4th one is a bonus, right? And then living in the victory of what you've done, seeing the improvements that you can make and that you will make, and putting together a plan of how that's going to happen. Because so many times we talk. So many times we think of what we want or what we need, but do we actually put it into an action plan? So Notes and journaling. Journal the fun stuff, like journal whatever you want to. Your purpose is at the top of that. So your purpose for the week. What's your purpose for the week? What do you feel captivated by yourself in? So that you can say, okay, my purpose in every single day this week, this is my purpose. And then your intention. What's your intention? How do you intend to show up? What do you intend to draw out of other people or yourself? Like, how do you intend to inspire, right? Since this month is Inspire, how do you intend to inspire? Notes and journaling also, like when you get overwhelmed, put that on there so that those are the next days or that week's must-dos or get-tos, right? So where you're feeling overwhelmed because you know that things need to be done, spread that out through the week so that the overwhelm isn't for today, but that you're able to get it done in the week. So our next page says, craving human connection, make it happen. A beautiful thing about this is that we have had connection, networking, strategy, and growth hours in the past, I don't know how long it's been, but over a year, close to 2 years, I would say, because we started those right away. So pick up the phone, send the personal email, tell the person you've been thinking of that you've been thinking about them, right? Be inspired, inspire somebody else, do the thing that you've been thinking of doing. Our leaders are going to have an opportunity to host pop-up hours. So when you see a pop-up hour, to connect with other human beings, right? To have a space where you can connect, where you can build friendships, where you can, if you can't tell, I'm a little passionate about this. Like, this is one of the points of being human, is to connect. This is one of the points of having a soul, of being able to know that you're aligned with people, that you can receive what you need and you can give what is needed. So connect, make it happen however you choose to, whether it's in our community or outside of our community, connect. So anytime that you see the light bulbs, this is about think tanking. This is about getting what's in you out of you. I always use it for notes for business, that I go to those light bulbs, because then I know, wait, I had an amazing idea last month. So I know that it's in January and I know that it's by a light bulb. I don't know which light bulb, but I'm going to find it. Right. So when, like, there's ways to be able to go back and track and to be able to get those things. And sometimes, like right now, I have 4 journals next to me because I can't remember what month it was in. So week 6 is the same thing. It's planners. It is 9:50. It's 10 hour right now. So I'm going to go through. Okay, so Amy Mead, this is for you. This is the peace sign, and it says you are absolutely capable of living the life in your head. You are absolutely capable of living the life in your head. It's time to step out and make your dreams happen. That is inspired by you, that is for you, that was created literally with you in mind, and everyone else that speaks to. So planner, think tank, let me see. Act as if you are making a difference, because you are. That is a quote that was given from Amy to be in this journal, so that it's right there. Level Up Genius Workshop. So this is something that we've changed from Growth Hour to Genius Workshop. We get to highlight Amy Mead this month. So a genius is person living in their zone of genius. So this will be Monday, February 21st at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Amy will be leading this, and we get to hear some genius. Then we've got our culture code. These are notes. They're note pages, but they're also to remind you of our culture code, to remind you of the OPWP way. Then we've got the heart. So the heart succulents. So the peace and love comes from Amy's welcome, and the peace was in the other coloring page. So here is the love. When you are looking for that one person to change your life, find yourself first, look in the mirror. So find yourself first, look in the mirror. And my intention is in the mirror, what do you see? Whether that's words, whether that's a drawing, whether that's whatever that is, what do you see of yourself? And then the last is the think tank, where this is intended for next month. What are the things that you need to do, get to do? What are you thinking of for next month or for the future? The last page, I love this. It's save the date. So Thursday and Friday, April 14th and 15th, 2022. This is our Living OP. It's our next Living OP virtual summit and beyond VIP. And then also saying, what is OPWP? So if you're wondering what this is, if you've received the journal and you're wondering what this is, check us out. As a community, I mean, we're my favorite community. So check us out. We're real and raw. We hold the space for you to know that you belong. So knowing that you belong, when you feel drawn to this journal, when you feel drawn to the creation behind it, the creation is for our OPWP community. That's where it starts and it goes from there. So thank you for your time. Thank you for this. I'm going to keep the recording going to ask, because now we've got 6 minutes, but to ask, what did you receive from your time? How did your time go? So I'm going to start with Amy Mead. How was your time?
It was good. I love to see the new journals and like the inspiration behind each of the pages. And I kind of love like when you buy a planner or a calendar, right? It's like you want to fill in all the things and plan ahead. And I kind of like the fact that the journal doesn't arrive until right before the month starts. So it like it just gives you an opportunity to be like, well, wait, I can actually do anything I want this month because it's an empty journal and you don't have to like feel boxed in by what you did last month or how you set it up, or, it's like all new every time.
I love it. I love that you're saying like that there's freedom in being able to be yourself, like to be able, because like for the people that love to plan and prep and all of that, like I love like changing it up a little bit. So that means a lot too, that it's there. Awesome. Thank you. Beck, how about you? How was your time?
My time was good. I think that my most excitement for this journal, because there's a very different feel to this journal for a lot of different reasons. But what I'm most excited about is the fact that you did change the word from mood to emotion. That sits better with me, and just the crystals in general. Like, this is a page that I've probably fulfilled, I don't know, 2, maybe 3 journals out of like 14. So it's not something that I usually set a lot of focus on, and it's something that I say I want to. But so this page, I'm actually really excited about the crystals. I think it just the different view, the different wording is a different perspective for me to kind of be excited about it. I'm feeling inspired to track emotions this month. So I'm looking forward to that.
Actually, I actually really appreciate that too, because I didn't use the mood page. And I think it was the word, because I don't resonate with the word mood, but I don't know if like anybody follows like your human design, but based on my human design, I have emotional authority. So it's like I'm like already trying to tune into my emotions and what are they telling me. So when like I saw that this said emotion, it was like, oh, I can totally handle that. And it's the same exact thing. It's just a different word. And suddenly it's like, makes more sense.
Yeah, that's so funny, because there is a little bit of a difference. Like there's a difference enough that like they mean different things, but not difference enough that we notice. Right. And so that's what I studied like for the first set of journals. It's that like the things that I was studying, it really is like and I can't even remember what it is because now I'm in emotion. You know what I mean? Like now emotion is it. So I don't even remember why I chose mood instead of emotion, but there was a reason. And so I'm excited that that sits so well with you, because in creating it, I was like, yes. So it felt good to create that. So that means a lot to me that it sits well with you guys, and holding the space that it sits well with our other subscribers too. So awesome. Well, we have got 2 minutes. Oh, my time was great. I'm thankful that y'all feel a shift in it, because there's a shift in me in creating it. And so I have to tell you, I mean, I've said it before, like I like to have proof in things that I'm doing before I step out and announce them to the world. Which is so funny, because like in some things I absolutely don't, and I just jump and I just do it, but it's someone else's product. When that happens, it's someone else's product, then I'm like, ooh, I love this, I'm going to promote it. But when it comes to myself, I like to have proof. And so there has been a shift in me because of your belief, and because of the effect that this has had, that that I feel the shift in designing too. So I'm excited for what's to come in that also. So yeah.
And I think what's cool too is, like we've talked about the idea of it being a time capsule or like a keepsake or something. And like I know with your brother, you've been talking a lot about like legacy and what do you leave behind and what does that say about you? And I think that's, that's how I've been thinking about it too. Like this is a record of who I am.
Yeah.
And like the more real and raw I can be with myself, the more I'm putting that energy into the journal, into the universe, and like leaving that legacy.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love that, because that's really what it is. Like when we can know ourselves and when we can be passionate about ourselves, then we'll be able to be passionate about the things in our lives. And so many times it's vice versa. It's the roles in that are reversed. And so if this journal can be a reminder of that, to put ourselves first and to be able to know that we matter, that our words matter, that who we are matters, then I think it's done its job. Like I think that that may be the purpose of this journal, is to know that you matter, and putting yourself first is more than okay. So thank you for being here for Behind the Design. Thank you for watching the replay. Your feedback is always welcome, is always a gift, and we love you so much. I'm going to stop the recording.